with David Ian and Kate Dale.
The show that plumbs the depths of mediocrity, celebrates the ordinary, and enjoys the everyday.
Hi everyone, welcome to Mediocre, the podcast. I am David Ian.
And I'm Kate Dale. So, David, how's your week been this week?
It's been okay. I had to fly to Cornwall and back in a day, which is quite tiring. But I was excited because when I fly to Cornwall, it's on a tiny little plane. And what I really love is that they give you a hot towel, like it's the 80s. But they didn't give me a hot towel both times.
Oh, inhumanity.
Which means I know, I might as well have gone by train and saved the environment, because literally the only reason I go is the hot towel. Greta's not going to love me, is she?
No.
What about you?
She's not going to love me either, actually. I'm about to fly for a solo for the first time since the pandemic, long haul.
Tell all the gays where you're going, Kate.
So I'm going to speak at a World Health Organization conference, which is very exciting.
But where is it, Kate?
I didn't choose the location
Where
of
is
this.
it, Kate?
It's in Abu Dhabi.
That LGBT-friendly place.
As a queer woman, I feel that there's two aspects of me they're not particularly going to be massively.
Well, I mean, there's
happy
every
about.
chance I'll be presenting this solo from now on, isn't there?
So your plan came together after all.
I contacted the WHO and got them to book it there. Why do you like flying alone?
Because, especially long haul, because you're just in your own space and there's no one else to keep happy. Maybe it reflects people I've flown with in the past and thinking I'd rather be on my own. But you just don't have to worry about anyone else, where you're going to eat. You don't have to accommodate anyone else's needs or desires. You can just cocoon yourself for the 6, 7, 10, 12, however long it is, hours. And it's just easier. But there's something, you're just in a little world of your own.
You live alone.
Yes, but when I'm living alone, I'm thinking about the things I should be doing.
And you don't have a little person bringing you food.
And
maybe you do, I don't know.
I wouldn't call cabin crew little people because I would feel quite patronising.
Oh, that is, isn't it? Yeah.
But I don't have.
I was thinking of like tiny people as opposed to like the little people.
I'm not sure that gets us any better, to be honest. I think the entirety of this intro is possibly problematic. But yes, I do quite like that. I like the binge watching of slightly edited down films on small screens. It's because there's nowhere else you can be. There's nothing else you can do.
Are you flying business class? Because you are my poshest friend.
I mean, that's not true. I'm not. And also no, because it's...
Who do you think my poshest friend is?
I don't know. I just can't possibly be your poshest friend because I'm not posh.
You get fruit delivered veg delivered every week. And flowers delivered every week.
Yeah, from myself to myself before that sounds slightly, which is
posh,
just...
right? It's posh.
Well...
Okay, we've got a guest this week. Thanks for that amazing chat. So this week we've got a very exciting guest. A award-winning director, Matthew Cullum, is with us.
Yay!
Welcome.
Clap myself.
Tell us about the award you've just won.
I just won a Pink News Award for... Technically, it wasn't for just me, but it was for Advertising Campaign of the Year.
What were you advertising?
A Netflix show. I was advertising Bridgerton. So I do this show called... I direct this show called Doing It with Netflix, where we get 2 drag queens to do like a challenge or a series of challenges based on a Netflix show. So this one was Monet Exchange and the Vivian from the US and UK series, taking a Bridgerton etiquette class with some of them. Did you ever watch Ladette to Lady on ITV?
That's not been on recently, has it?
No, it's really old.
Yeah,
like,
I think
it's kind of like
episode.
You know, like the early noughties, like really problematic reality TV
like Wife Swap
era.
And that kind of thing.
Yeah, it was kind of from that era. So they'd get kind of like lower class ladies to be like higher class ladies.
Yeah,
excellent.
I can't think of a better way to put it. But yeah, we got one of the teachers from that called Liz Brewer. She's very posh. She she was an etiquette coach for one of the Trumps.
They had etiquette lessons?
Apparently so. I think it was for Ivanka, Donald's wife.
Right. She's dead now.
She's dead now anyway. R.I.P. But like, so we got Liz Brewer to teach Monet Exchange and Vivian etiquette in like, I think it was Diana's family's old house, like Spencer House. So they used to own it, but they don't anymore.
So, I mean, this, maybe you don't know the answer to this, also not relevant, but I'm going to ask anyway, is American etiquette the same as like British etiquette? Like, would she have taught?
I mean, one exists and one doesn't. So
I think it's the Americans buying into this aristocracy, royal family type etiquette, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Liz is British herself, but she just teaches, she's got clients around the world. I think she's got some from Abu Dhabi and Dubai and everything as well. So she's also, not to keep bringing that up.
No judgment here.
No,
I
not
think
at all.
it's fine.
Not at all.
Such a liar, because all you do is judge. Anyway, sorry, Matt.
But yeah, she taught both of them etiquette and failed completely. It was very, very funny. It's because Vivian's from Liverpool and Monet is from Brooklyn. So neither were very etiquette trained. Mm-hmm. But they tried their best. It was a very funny video and now it's award winning. So I'm very happy with that.
Amazing. Well done.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Also, that's a really good example of the kind of work that you do. Like, you do a lot with drag and artists and that, don't you?
Yes, I do. So I used to be just an editor. I say just an editor, they're very important. But I used to edit and then I've moved into directing the last couple of years. So mostly focused on drag. So I used to edit this comedy series called I Like to Watch UK, which is where it's basically drag queen Gogglebox, where they watch Netflix shows. And then I directed a short documentary last year for Netflix about the UK drag industry. And I'm also doing this comedy series, doing it with Netflix. So a lot of drag stuff, a lot of Netflix stuff.
Amazing.
Can I just say that was a very good save for this episode of complimenting editors. So the editor of this will be very glad to hear.
Listen,
that was a very good save.
I love editors. I just find it hard because it's like the trade. It's basically my craft that I honed for 10 years. But I find it kind of dull now. I don't know.
You've
I'm
done
just
it.
mediocre at it as well.
Can I ask about this? So did you party hard and after you won? And also, what's the etiquette of winning something? Did you celebrate and say losers, losers, losers to all the other nominees? Or had you practiced? I will ask a question in a minute. Had you practiced your...
I'm trying to
You'll have to
remember all of
pull it
this.
out.
Okay, yeah. So the etiquette of winning, how did you handle that?
I didn't think too much about it, you know. I think everyone goes into an awards ceremony not expecting it, even if in the back of your mind you think, I probably have. Because looking at our category, because advertising campaign, a lot of people haven't seen them, whereas our one actually is kind of like a stealth advertising campaign, because obviously it is advertising the show, but it's not really,
but it's dressed up as like
exactly,
a show
it's just
itself.
fun to watch. Like, it's a fun comedy video to watch. So we did have a feeling, and it was public voted, so we just have a feeling we might get it. But when you go in, you're like, we walked in and we were sat right at the back and we thought, that's not a good sign, is it? Because they always put the nominees at the front.
Well, they don't want a long walk, do they?
And it was a very long walk when we had to go up there. But yeah, we were very gracious. I don't think I met any of the other nominees, actually.
Oh, that helps.
So I don't even know if they were there. No one really clapped the other ones, which was quite awkward. So we had to kind of start it, because it was our responsibility as the nominee that did get a clap and a laugh.
Had you practiced your humble loser face? Alan?
No. I mean, I lose a lot in life, so I just had it anyway. I just had it anyway.
So you went in at the back of your mind thinking you were going to win?
I wouldn't. I thought it was a good possibility. Wow. Yeah. And I don't normally think that. Normally, as soon as I'm nominated for something, actually, it's rarely happened in my life, but as soon as you kind of up for, you get to the final 3 of something or whatever for an interview, you always think, it's probably not going to be me. But then there's always a little glimmer of hope in the back of your mind, isn't there? And I'm actually quite proud of what we made. So I thought, maybe it'll clinch it. And because we actually had good kind of celebrity talent in our one, that always clinches a public vote, doesn't it?
What you're saying is you cheated.
Well, I don't know.
I think he made the most of what he had.
Used all his resources.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's not cheating.
Is it a good trophy?
I didn't get to keep it, unfortunately.
You only get one. You don't get one for.
Yeah, you only get one, annoyingly. So it's me, the guy from Netflix who kind of commissions it, and the editor. And so we were kind of we went up there and we were on either side of him, and he kind of did the speech. And we stood to the side, which I'm very happy with, and he did a very, very good speech. We love you, Rich.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, first question we start with is, what does mediocre mean to you?
What does mediocre mean to me? I think, obviously it is first thing that comes to mind is average, obviously. But I think if we're going to like delve deep into the word, for me, it's like a lack of imagination or a lack of spark. You know, something can be mediocre but still be quite good. Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense.
I hope so, because that's kind of what the whole show's about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because the definitions of mediocrity are about being in the middle, so therefore it can be completely...
It doesn't stand
properly
out.
fine, not the whole passive-aggressive use of the word fine, but it's just, it does the job.
Yeah, and it doesn't, like, I think of like a mediocre film, for example.
Go on.
I'm not going to name names. Like a mediocre film where it's like, you know, like I feel like a lot of rom-coms I've seen recently, because I do like a rom-com, but like I feel like the ones that are made these days are very mediocre, because, not to be that person that, you know, back in the day, whatever, but like they just don't really stand out, and I don't think they'll last the test of time. Whereas like a lot of, like, when you think of like a cult classic, it wasn't mediocre, it was just bad, but people have kind of like, they loved how bad it was. And obviously, you know, you've got the other end where like something's really high quality and obviously people love it. But like something can be bad and you can really love it and like have a lot of affection for it. But for me, mediocrity, you just don't, it's not memorable and there's no spark, and that's kind of how I think.
You're describing me perfectly.
It's like,
Great.
It's like the opposite of love being indifference, isn't it? It's not hate. Love, hate are both passionate.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do think there's like a beauty in mediocrity. Like, not everything can be really good and really bad. Like, there's something comforting about, and like, let's be honest, like most of us are mediocre and most things are mediocre. It's only like the select few that can be really bad or really good.
Otherwise, if everything can be average. Everything can't be extraordinary, or nothing's extraordinary.
But then everything can't be average, because then you have to have an average. Like, it's, you know, mediocre, I think there's a lot of beauty in it, for sure.
You did double maths at A-level, you understand
averages, just...
Yes. You did what at A-level?
Double maths. I did
maths.
badly. Yeah, it's like where you do loads of maths, so you do like 2 A-levels worth.
Okay.
David likes to tell us this.
I don't understand that as someone who's not good at maths.
Because one previous guest was doing a PhD or something, and I was trying to prove that I was... Anyway.
So...
Now you've mentioned it twice, so it could be your thing now.
Which is that not 100% increase or something? So what do you think is great, but maybe the rest of us is dismissed as being a bit mediocre?
I think a lot of my mediocre loves are centered around food. I love food. It brings me a lot of comfort, and it doesn't always have to be good food, you know?
You are absolutely preaching 100%. To the choir. We love... Sometimes you're just in the mood for something...
Yeah.
Sponge.
Like my parents, bless them. I love my parents, get on so well with them. They're not very good cooks. They're very much kind of like bang some beige stuff in the oven, present it, fine. But like, I find a lot of comfort in that. Maybe it's because I grew up with it, or maybe because it's just kind of like, oh, I know what I'm getting here. And I love, you know, I love restaurants. I'm a bit of a foodie. I love good food. I also just love food that kind of like...
See, my parents are both amazing cooks and I'm not. So it's not that mediocre food or beige food like reminds me of my childhood. I think it probably just makes me feel okay. Because my parents are incredible cooks and I'm not. So,
how did you not pick that up?
Because your mum's lasagna is fantastic.
It is indeed. She makes little individual dishes.
Oh, that's
like
cute.
Burns
little ramekin dishes.
So you've got all the crispy bits on the outside.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's such a good idea.
It's amazing.
Because you don't want the middle section of a lasagna,
right? So everybody get up, and they're about.
That's the sign of a good cook.
Yeah.
They're both incredible, and the reason why I never picked it up is because I think it was a bit too intimidating, and I'm not very good. I don't really like to play games that I'm not going to win, which is why I don't play computer games or any sport or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And I think that means that I didn't want to go and do any cooking, because I'd have to be bad to get good. And so now I have all my food delivered.
You have to start with failure to get good.
Whoa. Right, so you slate me for getting a bunch of flowers delivered to myself once a fortnight, but you get all your food delivered.
That's tea.
It's not about me.
Oh, first time ever.
You've had some of the food I have delivered, and you think it's lovely.
Yes, because you haven't even been able to eat all of it. You get so much food delivered, Mr. Hot Towel.
Right, that's enough. Let's all move on.
But yeah, no, I love mediocre. Like, I love a supermarket sandwich. I don't know why. I just really like them. There's a specific one from M&S, which is not a mediocre. I
This
mean,
is really the podcast of the people today.
I know,
Really relatable content.
This is my thing. I love M&S. I live opposite a Waitrose, but I will always go to M&S instead.
Oh my God.
M&S was our little treat growing up. Like, we'd go to Sainsbury's was like our supermarket, but M&S was our treat. Like, for Christmas, we'd go get our food from M&S. And so I've like grown up like loving. I just love M&S, and they've got this very specific sandwich. Yes, party food.
What's the sandwich?
It's very. It's so shit, but it's their cheese and onion sandwich.
Yes.
Oh, and there's something. It's so stodgy and bland. But like when I just need something to kind of like. Is when I'm feeling kind of like sad or low, I go and get that sandwich, and it completely lifts me up. And it's you couldn't really say it's good, but it's just the texture of it is so kind of easy.
Yeah, and it is
mediocre. It's like the most mediocre sandwich. Like, you'd never choose it if you didn't have any kind of affinity towards it.
You do choose it.
I mean, I do, but I love bad food.
I'm kind of what I find really confusing. So I get it. Like, I'm not a. What am I trying to say?
You're going to finish a sentence.
I know, it's catching, isn't it? So, right, I don't mind a supermarket sandwich, but what really bothers me is that the bread is cold.
Yeah, over refrigerated. If you let them come up to room temperature a bit, but I never do, because by the time I'm getting one, I'm hungry, so it just goes.
I mean, you're eating on the way out
to be refrigerated.
What, bread? Yeah. That is true. That is true. I actually quite like it. I quite like the. All kind of like congeals in a way that I...
What I'm hearing, Matt, is that you don't like yourself.
Yeah.
I don't. And that's how I punish myself by buying these sandwiches. But I will say, like, there is a hierarchy to the supermarket sandwiches. Some I just won't go for. Like the Sainsbury's ones, I'm good. Maybe it's just the M&S ones I like.
There goes the Sainsbury's sponsorship deal.
I quite like a Morrison's Coronation Chicken sandwich.
That's because
I love Coronation Chicken.
Tell everybody where I live. Well, the fans will be there.
I love Coronation Chicken.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like that's quite a controversial opinion, though.
Is it?
I feel like a lot of people don't like it. And we forget it's quite a recent invention.
Oh, I love a Coronation Chicken, like everything.
Yeah, me too.
It reminds me of my mum. Like, if we were going somewhere and everybody else was going to go out and have lunch out, like if we went to a theme park or like somewhere like that, everybody else would eat there, but we would bring sandwiches, and they're always Coronation Chicken.
I made an Ottolenghi. This is just carrying on the middle classness.
It's so yes, my God.
Most middle class episode anybody's ever made of anything.
Ottolenghi did a recipe for Coronation cauliflower.
Which
is the same
good.
with roast cauliflower. It was delicious for veggies and vegans. And now I'm wondering, because you know it's going to happen in 24. We're going to have 23. What year is it next year? 23. We're going to have another coronation, aren't we? What will
the dish be?
Yeah, because they had one for the last Jubilee.
Yeah,
they made
before,
like
it was some kind of
like trifle, I want to say. But
it needs to be something easy. I mean, the glorious thing about Coronation Chicken was it's chicken mayonnaise and curry powder.
That's one of the things.
So
when they make it a competition, it's like it has to be that everybody can do it.
Yeah, suddenly I'm looking forward to the coronation. Something I didn't think I'd say. I forgot there was going to be a dish.
Or there's going to be food.
Yeah,
always food.
Maybe and like. Sorry, not to bring it back to supermarket sandwiches again, but I love as well that they become seasonal. Like when Christmas comes around, you get like the pigs and blanket ones, and I'm like, I've just got to try them, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
The Pret veggie Christmas sandwich, which is brie and nuts and cranberry sauce, is just, and I genuinely get excited. It's like the red cups thing.
See, I just have
the red cups, yes. Oh my God.
We are being played for capitalist fools. I know
Another
this.
thing that's kind of similar to the sandwiches, like I like mediocre coffee as well. I like good coffee, but I also like mediocre coffee. Like I like a Costa and a Starbucks.
Oh, yeah.
I like going my way through the seasonal menus, like a pumpkin spice or the red cups.
Yeah.
I don't know. Capitalism.
God,
it's got me.
They're absolutely playing us for the fools we are.
They really are.
I don't drink coffee,
and I love it. You don't?
No, I'm really boring. Did you say Pret?
Yeah.
I have a real issue with Pret. I don't understand why everybody's obsessed. Because
I agree.
It's supermarket sandwiches that you pay twice the price for. It's a sandwich with bread that's in a fridge it's in a paper bottle. Like, I don't get it.
And the baguettes are so hard. Like they cut your mouth. Like they're they're very spiky. Like they're just, I don't know. You know when something like cuts the roof of your mouth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like that. I'm not a big fan of Pret either.
It's
good.
I wish it's death.
Okay.
Ubiquity and convenience. I think that sandwiches can be too complicated. I like old man sandwiches, which is what cheese and onion is. Cheese and pickle. Love a Plowman's.
Yeah.
I once had a screaming argument with my friend Angela about I'd bought a triple pack of supermarket sandwiches.
Oh, yeah, now we're talking.
Vegetarian,
Yeah.
it was a ploughman's, egg mayonnaise and cheese and onion.
Oh, yeah.
And she stole the ploughman's and left me the egg mayonnaise. And I was stressed at the time about things, but threw the egg mayonnaise in the bin and stormed out saying, no one likes the egg mayonnaise. Everyone knows that ploughman is the best. And stormed out.
Warren,
You understand, don't you, Matt?
I do like egg mayo, but
I do
nothing
quite.
about
That's the
that
thing I do
surprises
too.
me.
but it's not as good as Ploughman's.
You save the ploughman's to last, right?
Wait, what was the other one?
Cheese. Well, it was cheese and onion. So
Oh, yeah, I'd have to
there's
say
no
that one for
bad
last, I'm
choices.
afraid.
But yeah, but you don't steal the ploughman's.
No, I mean, you don't steal anything, quite
No,
frankly.
well, quite
If I
frankly,
bought it, it's
Angela should be
mine.
ashamed of herself.
she
And
should.
Angela, shame on you.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if this is the most thrilling conversation we've had.
I mean, speak
or
for
not.
yourself.
Yeah, we've all been quite passionate.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay, good. Well, moving on.
Sad.
What is mediocre about you? I can't remember what the word was then. I built
Your memory.
everything around this. What's mediocre about you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Great, lovely to have you. What would you like to promote?
Mediocre at being humble.
Well, yes. No, actually, I'm very bad. Wait. No, I'm good at being humble. Almost too good. I'm not very good at picking myself up.
Oh, you did come. You started this by saying, "Well, I knew I was going to win that award."
Yeah, but that's not because of my talent. It's because of who was involved apart from me. See, that's the best thing about being a director. I get to hire lots of talented people, but I can just be quite mediocre myself. I just come up with the idea and get lots
Yeah,
of
that's
talented
quite
people
logical,
involved.
actually.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's a director's
Kind
job.
of what we do on
like,
this podcast.
that's what
to be
we've
honest.
done.
yeah, surround yourself with talented people, and then you can take all the credit.
Yeah.
it's great.
Exactly.
Not that I ever take all the credit, but that was not my answer, by the way.
Okay.
What's mediocre about me? My work ethic, for sure.
Are you sure you want Netflix to hear that?
Yeah, they're fine. The thing is, my work ethic is good when I'm being paid for something. Like if there is money on the line, whether it's like I am being paid money or like I put my own money into something, my work ethic is great. But when it comes to like personal projects or like trying to get my dreams off the ground, I'm just so lazy.
What dreams are you not getting off the ground?
Well, I made a narrative short film a few years ago, and it was for first attempt, it was fine, and that was where my money was on the line because I paid for it, and I haven't done one since, and I really would like to do another one, but I'm just so.
Is it
I don't know.
lazy or is it fear of failure?
I think it might be that, but then I tell myself it's laziness.
Yeah.
You just beat yourself up over it and just
Yeah.
I'm just mediocre at it. I'm just, whatever. I don't, yeah. So I think my work ethic is not great. But then I think you always compare yourself to everyone else looks like they're working very hard, but they're probably not as well. Right?
See, we have quite a conversation about work ethic, don't we? Because I have a bit of a problem.
You have too much of one and I have too little of one.
Well, you work very well together then.
So in the middle, we are balanced, we are average and mediocre in the middle.
I don't know, because I ring her in the middle of the night and I'm
Yeah.
like, we need you to
God.
sell your flat because we need financing.
I wake up in the morning. Yeah.
We need to open a comedy club.
Yeah.
Not a good time to
And
sell either.
And I
Not
need
just-
12 million.
It's not just we need to open a comedy club. Here are all the properties we're going to go and look. We've got appointments made. I dread putting on
you're that
WhatsApp in the morning
person.
to find out what we're doing now.
Oh, you're that person. The thing is,
Yeah.
it's good to have friends like that, though. I've got a lot of friends like that have like incredible productivity. I find it very intimidating, but also it's great when they can sort your life out a little bit. When you're doing something together, it's so good for someone to just organise everything.
We started a comedy night and then we did 3 of them in 1 month because I couldn't say no.
So the month you started, you did 3 in 1 month. Well, that's good.
Including one of them was was providing all the comedians for the comedy stage at quite a high profile Pride. Probably not the best way to
A week
start
before.
Yeah.
That was in the middle of the night, wasn't it?
That was 1 a.m.
Do you sleep?
Badly. That's what I'm mediocre at.
Actually, me too. I'm not a very good sleeper.
Really?
But I don't think for the same reasons. I try and go to sleep early, but it just never works for me. I'm a very bad sleeper.
I'm at like 2 a.m. I'm just milling about thinking of what ridiculous thing I could do next.
Do you find it hard to switch your brain off? Yeah.
I will often be in bed and then get out of bed because I'm so awake and I get a little notepad out and that's where all my
I do
ideas
the
come
same.
down.
Get the notes app out. I'm like, this blue light coming off my phone is really helping my sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going to go with that, really. I don't. I'm an old lady. We don't sleep at all. We just pace. nervously. That's
Pacing.
what happens. No,
That's
so,
quite chic though,
sleep
isn't it?
patterns go.
Like pacing in a nice dressing gown.
Oh yeah, and I've got a dressing gown specifically. I've got a pacing
A
dressing
pacing
gown.
dressing gown. Yeah.
Don't mention dressing
Is
gowns.
it
My
silk
dressing gown
or-
was stolen when I got broken into, and I'm hoping I'll get a new one for Christmas.
That's really tragic.
I know, right?
Who would steal a dressing gown?
People that break into your flat, you don't want to know what else they stole. Do not say.
I would really like to know.
We'll say
Please
off the
tell
pod.
me. I would love to know.
We'll say off the pod.
Yeah, we can't possibly say that.
I think the
word on
audience would
pod.
really like to know.
They
what else
stole
was
lots of
stolen.
things, loads of things,
Okay.
including my work laptop and
That's really annoying.
Yeah.
I've got 3 dressing gowns. Is that too many dressing gowns? And I've just bought on over. Actually, it's my exciting week. I've bought hooks to hang them up in the back of my door, and it's giving me so much joy.
Why 3 dressing gowns?
I've got my getting out of the shower toweling dressing gown. Yeah, so it's
Like straight when you like.
Yeah.
So when you're wet.
Yeah, and then
I hate that.
That sounds
I have to
awful.
put it, for me, it's like you have to put it on when you're dry.
I agree.
Yeah, no, yes, I don't. I'm not going to walk around the flat in that. And then I've got my winter tartan dressing gown.
What you're
which I've
saying
had
is
for
you've got a
years.
towel with arms, is what you're describing.
Yeah, and then I've got my glamorous pacing dressing gown, which is I saw Nigella Lawson wear it, and so I.
Oh
bought
yeah,
it.
fair enough.
It's got the map of it's silk, well, pretend silk. It's got the map of Venice printed all over it.
Why Venice? Oh, is it because Nigella had it?
Well, she had it, but also I spent 3 months in Venice and had a mini nervous breakdown. So it's happy memories, but
You just wanted to be taken back to that every time you put it back
So it's
on.
quite symptomatic. But
I'm just
happy
imagining you like slinking out of each dressing gown and then like going into the next one straight
Yes.
away, like
Ideally, I'd
different
have
stations in your
people.
flat.
I have to say, I think it's highly appropriate that the very slightly older middle-class person has 3 dressing gowns and the young youth of today have no
are you
dressing
saying
gowns.
this is the problem with Gen X?
Well,
We're holding all the dressing gowns as well as everything else.
I would like to
mean,
see a
like-
dressing gown comeback. Actually, you don't really see them in
so
pop
lovely.
culture either, do you?
Well,
in pop culture, I mean,
As
what?
in, like, you know, like I don't really see dressing gowns on like in films and TV anymore. It's more like loungewear now, isn't it?
You see, this is the
it's
problem
less
with,
dressing
not
gowns.
the problem with lockdown. There were other problems with lockdown. I appreciate that. But one of the things of lockdown is that you miss that coming home at the end of the day, getting out of your outdoor clothes and getting into your... Because I used to I'd get back from work and get straight into a version of PJs and my dressing gown. And it was a lovely... It might be 6 o'clock in the... Well, I'd never be home that early, but at whatever time in the evening. And it's a lovely, now I'm home feeling. And because you were just home, you didn't have that change from day to evening.
Yeah, I mean, that was the worst thing about COVID, I guess.
Yeah.
I really am cancelling myself. Yeah. I didn't say it was the worst. I said it was a problem. Well, it's
high up
been
on the
lovely
list.
knowing you all. And bye.
Thanks, NHS.
Yeah.
Right, what are you promoting?
I guess the show that I do with Netflix is called Doing It with Netflix. There are 3 episodes up currently. The first one is with Tace and Cheryl Hole from Drag Race UK, and the second episode and third episode are with Monet Exchange and the Vivian. There's also
That was the one you were talking about. That's the award-winning one.
Yes, and we had a new episode that came out in September where they learn how to do outdoor survival things, which was fun.
What
Went to
show
the
are
middle
they
of the woods.
promoting?
It was a show called Fate the Wink Saga, which is like a fairy show. I'm not going to go into the specifics
fairy
of
show.
like how we made that work, but
Okay.
or why it was chosen. But you know, it worked
Watch
in the
it.
end. It was a very tenuous link.
So
shall we
these,
say.
where can we see these?
These are just so they're on the Still Watching Netflix YouTube channel, which is kind of like their DVD extra thing where they put all the stuff that's like related to the shows that they're not going to
Yeah,
put on the
that
main
da-dum bit.
service.
Like
Yeah. And there's also a documentary that I directed last year called, my God, what's it called? On YouTube, it's called Inside the UK's Rapidly Changing Drag Industry. Something like that. You'll find it.
What a catchy
Yeah,
title.
you'll find it. Well, it was SEO.
I can't understand how you've
It's an
got that at
SEO
all.
thing, yeah. But I'm very proud of it. It was like a 35-minute like deep dive into the UK drag industry and how it was recovering after COVID. So,
And what about your short that you did? What's that called and where can we find that?
it's not online anymore.
Okay,
It's,
good. We
it's
can
been
find
removed.
that on your computer.
Yes, it probably is online somewhere, but I'm not gonna. It was, you know, when you've like, it was a long time ago, and it was a first
It really
attempt.
does
and
sound like it was fear of failure.
It does, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Get over it, Matt. You're doing well.
Thank you for that advice. Yeah, I will just go. I'll just go and get over it.
Take
Sage
it.
wisdom.
Take
If
it
only
from Gen X.
If only someone had told me that before.
I know, right?
Now your problems are solved. Okay, where can we find you online?
So my Instagram is at Matthew Cullum, and my website is www.mattcullum.co.uk. I need to pick one, Matt or Matthew. I kind of flip between the two.
Branding.
To pick my branding.
Yeah.
Something I'm mediocre at. Branding.
Run out of time.
Genuinely.
Yeah. No more of that.
Okay,
You've already had your thing.
I've got a whole list. I thought we were going for hours.
Yeah, right. Thanks for coming. That was good.
Thank you so much. It's really fun.
Thanks for watching. We will see you next time. You can see me on Instagram at Mr. David Ian or on my website, davidian.co.uk.
And me for what is possibly a very short time remaining at KTS Dale.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Mediocre Gay, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and give us a 5-star rating. It helps other people find the show.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Mediocre Gay Pod or share your mediocre secrets with us on mediocregaypod@gmail.com.